Question 7, Siobhan Brown.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. To ask the Scottish Government what its assessment is of any potential impact that the UK Government's proposed illegal migration bill could have on devolved social justice powers and the duties of Scottish local authorities.
Cabinet Secretary.
So we've written to the UK Government to state unequivocally that Scottish ministers do not support the illegal migration bill. It's imperative that safe and legal routes exist for people seeking safety and protection from war and persecution, yet this bill will remove the right to seek refugee protection and, of course, risks pushing people into exploitation and destitution. We should be upholding the UN Refugee Convention, not undermining its international protection. So we are currently considering the detail of the bill, including the impact on people and services, as well as considering any legislative consent implications.
Siobhan Brown.
I thank the Cabinet Secretary for that answer. The Immigration Law Practitioners Association says that the clauses of this bill dealing with modern slavery and trafficking breach the UK's obligations to victims of trafficking under Article 4 of the European Convention on Human Rights. Can I ask the Cabinet Secretary if she agrees with me that not only are the actions of this UK government deeply immoral, but they're also illegal?
Cabinet Secretary.
Well, the Home Secretary, of course, was unable to state that this bill's provisions were compatible with the European Convention on Human Rights, which tells us all we need to know about this abhorrent legislation. And, of course, it follows on from the Shameful Nationality and Borders Act, and a further restriction on the provision of support to human trafficking victims penalises particularly vulnerable people who have suffered unimaginable trauma, including sexual exploitation or being forced through violence to work for no pay, and they will be prevented from accessing the safety and support available to them in the UK. And of course, importantly as well, children will be left in a shocking position until they turn 18, where they will then be detained and removed to a third country where they have no connections or family. That's shocking and cannot be allowed to happen. I would have thought the whole chamber would agree with that.
Supplementary. Faisal Chowdhury.
Thank you, Deputy Presiding Officer. The UK government's illegal migration bill is likely to have a significant impact on migrants and asylum seekers in Scotland. Scotland's legal profession alone will likely have their caseloads skyrocket under the provisions for removal in the bill. Many asylum seekers that have arrived in the UK and Scotland have risked their lives and arrived with nothing. It is likely any legal assistance many asylum seekers will require would have to be pro bono. Will the Cabinet Secretary advise what the potential impact of this bill will be on Scotland's legal aid service?
Cabinet Secretary.
Well, I think Faisal Chowdhury raises one issue of which there are many about the impact of this legislation. And of course, the real concern is that it leaves more people destitute without recourse to public funds, and that, of course, has a major impact on services as well as the impact to the individuals themselves. So we will continue to do what we can by supporting third sector organisations, some of which, of course, are involved with the issues of legal support and legal advice, and we will look to see what more we can do. But let's be under no illusion, this legislation will have a profound impact on those affected and on services here in Scotland, and we should all unite in condemnation of the UK Government over this move.